4 carp fishing spots in autumn that will help you catch more fish. Intro. Hey there, fellow anglers! Autumn is here, and if you're anything like me, you're hoping to reel in a big carp this season. But let's be real, sometimes you can spend all day fishing and still not get a bite. It's not that there aren't any fish, it's that you might not be in the right spot. Carp may look a bit clumsy, but trust me, they're pretty smart. They know the drill in autumn. They need to bulk up for the cold months, so they're out searching for food, but they're also very skittish around humans. So today, I'm going to share 4 spots where you'll have a better chance of catching carp this fall. Follow these tips, and you'll be pulling in fish like a pro. Let's dive in. 1. Weed edges in large bodies of water. Carp love these areas. Carp are big fish. They're not hanging out in tiny ponds or shallow ditches, they need more space to roam. That's why your best bet is to head for large bodies of water like wide rivers or reservoir bays. But it's not just about the size of the water, you also need aquatic plants. The denser, the better. Why? Well, weeds are a carp's dream. First, they hide a ton of food like small fish, shrimp, insects, and even seeds. Second, they help regulate the temperature. In autumn, mornings and evenings can be chilly, but weed areas tend to stay warmer than open water. Lastly, weeds provide shelter, which makes carp feel safe enough to feed. Let me share a quick story. Last week, I was fishing near a reed cluster in a wild river bay. I set my bait, and within 30 minutes, I had a bite. I landed a carp over 3 pounds, and then caught 2 more. Meanwhile, the guy next to me, who didn't fish near the weeds, didn't catch a thing all day. Pro tip: stay away from areas with too many weeds, they'll make it hard for your hook to reach the fish. Look for the edges or weed holes, and aim for water depths of around 3 to 6 feet. If you're fishing in flowing water, like river inlets or outlets, those areas are even better, as they provide oxygen-rich water that carp love. 2 areas with thick silt. Carp love to root around for food. Carp are like the pigs of the fishing world. They love to root around in the mud searching for snails, worms, and anything else they can snack on. If the riverbed is too clean or rocky, carp will likely move on. But when the bottom is covered in thick silt, that's a gold mine for carp. How can you tell if there's thick silt? Simple: look at the water's surface. If you see bubbles rising in clusters, kind of like a pot of water boiling, that's a sure sign of thick silt. And if the water is murky near the shore, that's also a sign that carp have been digging around. I once fished an old pond with a thick, silty bottom. No need to set up a special feeding spot, I just cast near the murky patches, and within minutes, I landed a 5-pounder. The pond owner told me they'd never dredged it, so the bottom was packed with decomposed leaves and grass, which kept the carp growing fast. So, when you're fishing in areas with dirty bottoms, don't worry, those muddy areas are prime spots for big carp. 3 depth transitions where carp wander all day. Carp are timid fish, so food alone isn't enough. They also need somewhere safe to hide. That's where depth transitions come in. These are spots where shallow water meets deeper areas, and carp love to hang out here because they can feed, hide, and move easily with temperature changes. Look for areas where the shore drops suddenly into deeper water or slopes underwater that go from shallow to deep. In autumn, water temperatures can fluctuate a lot, so carp might hang out in deeper water early in the morning and move to shallower spots to feed later in the day. I found a great sloped transition in a reservoir last autumn, where the water depth went from about 5 feet to 10 feet. I set my bait up in the shallower spots early and moved deeper in the afternoon. That day, I caught 3 carp, the biggest one over 5 pounds. Meanwhile, the guy next to me, fishing just in deep water, only caught 1 small carp. 4 rocky piles with small fish. Carp love to scavenge here. Carp are opportunistic feeders, so they'll happily scavenge leftovers from small fish. If an area has a lot of small fish like minnows or whitebait, you can bet there are probably carp nearby. These little fish produce waste and leftover scraps, which attract plankton, a tasty snack for carp. But remember, in these areas, carp need cover. They'll hang around rocky piles, tree stumps, or any underwater structures where they feel safe. They're not fans of competing with small fish for food in open water, so they'll stick to the sheltered spots. I was fishing a small river once with rocky shores and tons of small fish. I set up near the rocks and caught a carp over 6 pounds. The fight was intense. It took me almost 10 minutes to reel it in. That's the thrill of fishing, right? Conclusion. To wrap it up, if you're looking for carp this autumn, focus on these 4 key spots: weed edges in large water bodies, areas with thick silt, depth transitions, and rocky piles with lots of small fish. These places provide food, shelter, and the right water temperatures perfect for carp. But here's one last tip: carp are super alert. Once you find the right spot, use a long rod, stay back, and cast gently. Spooking them will ruin the chances of a good catch. If you follow these tips, you'll be reeling in some serious carp this autumn. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit like, save, and follow for more fishing tips and tricks. Tight lines, and I'll see you on the water. About the author. I'm a fishing enthusiast and content creator, sharing tips and tricks for wild fishing. Follow me for more expert advice, and let's talk all things fishing.